I think we've got to win, because if we don't, I think the Australians will think that we're a lot of no-hopers, and we're not. I feel really convinced that we can win. And then when we go out to Australia on the next tour, they'll be there wanting to beat us, and that's what this game's all about, is winning and losing, and I think we've got to win, and I think we will.
We've always admitted they were a fitter side. They played no matches this year and they've ever played before. We should be at the top of our form, and provided we pick the right side. You can only give your best, and I think our boys will give 80 minutes of sheer endeavour.
If we can beat the Aussies, which I feel convinced that we can, I think it'll have a lot of bearing on the gates that we get in now. As you know, we're in an economic situation where gates are falling off. I think the people of Great Britain will rally round us if we beat them, and once we've beaten them, I think it'll carry on from there, and Rugby League will get back where it was 2 or 3 years ago, because people over here will support a winning team, and I think that we can beat them, and they'll come back and support us.
Australian public would like to see us win, and we didn't come here to lose, but we realise it's going to be an extreme challenge. It's probably one of the hardest challenges Australian Rugby League's had for a long time, and we're prepared to meet it, and we're prepared to work hard to get there.
As I said, you've been over here quite a few times before. No doubt you're looking forward to meeting some old friends.
Yes, I am. Quite looking forward to meeting some old faces. It's always a pleasure to come to the north, and as you said, it's quite looking forward to meeting some of the older faces and old acquaintances and old players that I've met over the years.
Besides the 3 test matches, who do you think's going to give you? Which of the clubs do you think's going to give you the hardest game?
All of them.
Well, the competition's going to be very hard. You know, all the young players are very skilled in their game, and they'll come through okay. They all play in the top league in Sydney and Brisbane, so they'll come through all right.
Peter, you're one of the younger lads in the touring party. How are you looking forward to the tour?
Oh, I'm obviously looking forward to it as much as everyone else is. It's a bit of a dream come true for me, so now I'm looking forward to a good tour over here.
What did you feel like when you knew you'd been selected?
Well, you know, it's probably the greatest thrill of my life. It's obviously something you work very hard for, and you know, ever since I was a young kid, I've always wanted to play for Australia. So it's, as I say, it's probably the fulfilment of a dream for me.
Frank and Tom, this is your first tour and you're co-managers for the Australian touring side. How are you looking forward to the tour?
Well, we're looking forward to the tour greatly. The Australian team is the #1 team in the world of rugby league, and we hope to retain that title when we return back to Australia.
Yes, we think the selectors have given us the nucleus of a side that can match it with anyone around the place. It's an exciting side, a blend of youth and experience, which should go very well.
One of the questions I'd like to ask, which I've asked some of your colleagues, is that you've gone, 9 test matches now without defeat. Those back home in Aussie are expecting you to do well on this tour. Does that put any pressure on the touring party?
Oh yes, and naturally when you've had a winning streak like that, everyone wants to knock you off. And I know the people here in England, for the people we've met so far, make it very obvious that their intentions are to knock us off if they can possibly do so.
Which of the club games that you've got coming up do you think is going to cause you most problems?
Well, we think that every game, in my opinion, I think every game will cause you trouble. There's only one way to look at games of football, and that's take them as they come along, one by one.
The big moment's arrived. The Australian tourists are here. How are you feeling?
Oh, delighted. I think all the planning, the months of planning, all the telephone calls, all the meetings we've had, when you see them step off the bus, we've now got a tour. And we now know we've got 7 weeks of hard work. We think a lot of enjoyment, and we're hoping a lot of good rugby league, both for Great Britain and Australia. And we think this tour will do our game a tremendous amount of good, not only for the next 2 months, but of course as a springboard to future success.
Well, I know, speaking to the players on the coach, they're looking forward to the tour a great deal, and they know they've got a tough job in front of them. And the Great Britain lads, of course, have been putting in a fair bit of training.
Yeah, they'll be doing an average of 2 matches a week, the tour games. We've got the 3 Dominion Insurance tests, and we've got the Wales match. So it's a full and varied programme. They'll all be tough, hard games. We've picked our best sides. There are no easy matches, no warm-up games, and they're going straight into the Hull KR match on Sunday. And that'll be a 15-match programme that will really test the resources of 28 top Australian players.
And of course, you'll probably be looking with interest to see the gates at Fulham and Cardiff.
Well, we deliberately put the Cardiff game and the Fulham game in as, if you like, missionary matches. We are now a national game, and it's important that we let the Australians tour Great Britain, which of course now is England and Wales. And we feel that the interest that they'll arouse outside our traditional boundaries will do us a lot of good in our bid to extend the game.
Well, finally, to put you on the spot, how are the tests going to go?
The tests will be tremendous football. The Australians are undoubted favourites. They've won the last 9 test matches on the trot. We think we can pinch it 2-1.
Come on, keep going. It's terrific. Let's go. Next bloke doesn't leave until he's at the front, okay? Front, Wally, in front, Wally. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Great. What are you just down from school? Have a smile. Smile, Mal. Gotta get back. That's it. Right. One last shot.
I'll get my mum to send a couple of babies on you. You got to put a camera on the jury. Thank you.
Look, no hands. Hang on, I'll just put a mask on. Hey? You're not official. Don't look at him.
The 1982 Kangaroos' first match of their tour here at Craven Park, Hull, against Hull Kingston Rovers. Crooks, the prop forward, goes through. And Reddy was in very hard there. And in fact, referee Fred Lindop sending him off. Rod Reddy, first match of the tour, and off he goes. That's a sorry start for their tour. Australia down to 10 men, and we've even got more trouble now. Holdstock and Boyd in a confrontation. Holdstock looks to have cut his eye, and there's further trouble. Now this is getting very nasty. The referee's got to sort this out, and in fact Watkinson is on his way. So both sides now down to 12 men. Craig Young. Brentnell going through, and he's just stopped short of that line. Craig Young, and he's in, the first try of their tour, and it's Craig Young, puts Australia 3-0 in the lead. Burton going through, well tackled by Kenny and Rogers, but a penalty's been given by referee Fred Lindop, and Steve Rogers didn't like that. Hello, we've got further problems, and in fact Les Boyd's being sent off, obviously for something he'd said. Phil Lowe on the break, the veteran forward wearing number 15 kicks over the defence. Has he got the legs? He's got support from Hartley. Rebo's there, he can't collect, and Hartley's in for a superb try. What a superb try. OKR 5, Australia 5. Crooks to Hartley. This try scorer is breaking through again. Hartley, can he get through? The second try, he can't. But Brown, the number 13, loose forward does. OKR 8, Australia 5. There'll be a OKR put into this scrum, and it's come out on the Australian side. Peter Sterling. Oh, he's broken clear. Can Clark get him? No, he can't. He's pushed him off, and he surely must be in for a try. What a superb try by the little number 7. Max Greenwich, the Australian skipper, slips it inside, and it's Peter Sterling again. And he scored 2 tries in the first match of the tour. Australia 15, OKR 10. Peter Sterling once again. Kenny. Muggleton on the break. Can he get through for another try? He can't, but Rogers can. Yet another well-worked try by the Australians. And although they're a man short, they're running riot. Sterling takes a return, and it's Wally Lewis. Wally Lewis, wearing number 14, came on as substitute, scores yet another good try for Australia. Craig Young slips it short to Big Mal Meninga, the number 3, and he's moving like a train. Is he going to be caught? Clark's back there, can he stop him? No, he can't. What a superb try. And that rounded off a superb opening game for the Australians. They lead by 30 points to 10.
A rugged and controversial beginning to the 82 Kangaroos tour. 11 men playing 12 is never very satisfactory, but in the end the 11 men, the Kangaroos, won and won well, going away, as they say in racing terms. They're clearly going to be very formidable opponents indeed.
In the first half we kind of kept it in close and we didn't swing it out wide too much and keep the ball moving, and at the half time he told us to swing it around a bit, and we did, and we got results.
And here come the Kangaroos, off to an impressive start at Hulkingston Rovers last Sunday, where they won by 30 points to 10, and hoping, no doubt, to repeat that 28-2 scoreline here 4 years ago. And sensibly, the Australian management has decided that only 4 of the men who figured at all in the game at Hull should take part this evening. And that means that there are first opportunities on this tour for a number of players to show their paces with the test matches in mind. Hancock seems to want to go all alone. So Mortimer's there in attendance. Going to be a penalty for offside, and a sure-fire chance here for Steve Ellett to tack on the points and make it 4 apiece. Well, it's an even easier kick than the one negotiated a few moments ago by Colin Whitfield. Good old Lancashire sand, that, all the way from Blackpool Beach. So Steve Ellett with this opportunity to put us back level at 4-all. which he does safely enough. No problem at all. Oh, a very unsatisfactory kick, and this has perhaps given a chance to loose forward Pearce, and perhaps the first try of the game. It's come inside, and it's an easy enough try for Paul McCabe, who deserves it as much as anyone. And even the Wigan crowd appreciating that, but it all stemmed really from the mistake by fullback Barry Williams. Foy and Stevens, good tackle again. A real shoulder charge on Brian Juliff, and it's going to be a penalty for not allowing him to play the ball. Penalty to Wigan, and they get it smack in front of the posts. And we're now up to 11 penalties in this game, 7 of them to the host club. So Colin Whitfield should bring the score back to 7-6. Whitfield so far kicked 2 out of 2. Ellis kicked 2 out of 3. So is it going to be 6-7? Certainly is. No problem at all. Smack through the middle. This is Bamba. He's a willing lad, this. Plenty of spirit, Lee Bamba. Kiss, who's back on his feet and okay. Shaw, taken out of it by Brown and Muggleton. Oh, and in hard there goes John Muggleton, and scenes really reminiscent of what happened at Craven Park in the first game. And that all developed as the Wigan player wanted to get off the floor. John Muggleton went flying in, the touch judge on the pitch, the trainers are on the pitch, and there's going to be a round table conference there. Mortimer to play the ball, inside 1, inside 2, little kick ahead. Oh, he's still there, might get there, but Nicky Kiss first. Oh, in surely now, and Muggleton gets the try. And that can only go down as another sad lapse on the part of the Wigan defence. Miles taking the catch second time around, and running straight and running hard and running well. Over the 25, good break by Gene Miles. Mortimer. The ball's coming over once more. Oh, and a good chance here of McCabe. As he got his man in, he has over on that far side. Well, it was a funny way to get the try. Oh, the great chance for Campbell has got through. Henderson Gill, can he get to the line? He can! Great try by Gill. Campbell made the running. Gill squeezed it at the corner despite the 2 Australians tried to duck him almost out the ground. And look at the smile on the face of Henderson Gill. Only his second try of the season, and that's really brought the crowd to life. Alex beaten, but far from disgraced.
Quite pleased with our lads tonight. I think they've put a tremendous performance, and they've competed to the end, which is must be very heartwarming to the English electors to see that we can beat the Australians if we go and take the ball to them.
You could in fact have snatched it at the end.
Well, I think if the man in the middle had been a little bit more kind to us for the game, I think we could have won the game, but they played well and they're not a bad side.
Actually, you've mentioned the referee there in a subtle sort of a way, but really the game was never allowed to flow in the way it might have been.
Well, you can check it how you want it. It's 28 penalties in a game, and when 13,000 spectators come and play £3 a time, I think the man in the middle should be seen a lot less than what he's been seen.
What were your thoughts about the Australian team in general?
Very impressed. I think the second row boy, I think he had a superb game.
McCabe.
I thought he was the man of the match.
Paul, a great cheer went up in the dressing room a few minutes ago when it was announced that Paul McCabe was the team's man of the game. Were you surprised to get the award?
Yes, John, I was in a way. It's really a great honour for the boys to elect me as their man of the match, but along with myself there was a couple of other very good performances in the match in Wayne Pearce, and I thought Donnie McKinnon took the ball up well all night, took it up to the Pommy forwards, and it was a great effort on his behalf, and it was a good all-round effort by the boys. Actually, we stuck to our guns, and it was a great all-round defensive effort.
Actually, from your point of view, it did seem to me you were determined to get stuck into the game in those opening stages. I mean, I kept looking at the number on your back, and there you were doing the tackling.
Yeah, John, well, it's as you know, it's my first game in England, and I was determined. I find it easier to get involved in a game if you start right from the beginning, the word go, get involved, and I I find it a lot easier to for the game to flow on, and that happened tonight, luckily.
You didn't have it all your own way, though. I mean, Wigan could have won it in the end.
Mate, they're a great side, Wigan. You know, I'm sure that they have the greatest defensive record in the league over here, and I can see how they've earned that record. It's really a great effort by the Wigan side.
The Australians come to Barrow tonight for their third match of their tour. Having met stiff resistance in the first half, they eventually ran out easy winners by 29 points to 2. Let's look back at some of the best Australian tries. Rod Reddy drops it short. Mark Murray goes through and he's broken through the defence. Steve Tickle, can he get him? He can't, and Mark Murray's in for a try. Here we see Rod Reddy drop a short ball to Mark Murray, who came from deep. He gets through the first cover. Steve Tickle could have done better probably at going in for a low tackle. Eventually gets hold of him, but it's too late. Brown lays it off to Schubert, the big number 1, and he's getting through. He's not going to be stopped, and he goes in for his second try of the match. Wally Lewis, Mark Murray, Brown drops it short. Ellis slips between the tackles, and he's over. Good pass in here by the Australian team. Mark Murray to Brown, the substitute, and Steve Ellis slips between those two tackles. Peter G finally get hold of him. Rod Reddy slips it off, and it's Mark Murray again, the number 7, the half-back, slips it inside to Rogers, and he's not going to be stopped. He's got Anderson in support, but he's not going to need him.
Frank, 3-2 at half-time, bit of a scrappy first half, and Barrow were well in it, but the second half, something different.
Well, I thought it was a terrible first half on our players' performance. It's one of the worst performances I've seen some of our players turn in for a long while. The coach, Frank Stanton, gave them a little bit of a dressing down at half-time, and it proved the results. They rose to the occasion, and they played a hell of a lot better football in the second half.
Is it something to do with the team changes, selections to give everybody a game? Do you think the side needs to settle down, and this is probably what added to it in the first half?
Well, seeing it's only early in the tour for us, it's going to take the players time to settle down, and as you said, the team changes do make an effect. The players don't get to know each other properly till they get onto the field, but as we go on, I believe we'll mould into one real good team and possibly two real good teams.
Well, you've got a game at St Helens on Sunday, and then of course you go to Headingley on Wednesday next week, and Leeds top of the First Division, although they lost a hole the other evening. Do you think that's probably going to be one of your sterner tests before the test matches?
Well, as I said early in the piece here, we're prepared to take each game as it comes, and we'll weigh up each game as we play the game, and we won't take anyone easy, and I believe that the games will progressively get harder and harder.
Wayne, you've just been voted the players' player of the match in there. How do you feel about that?
It was a shock to me. There's a lot of other players played well. I thought the halfback, Mark Murray, Les Boyd, there was a lot of good performances, and they all come to the fore in the second half when we settled down.
St Helens fared no better than Barrow. Without 8 first-team players, they disappointed over 8,000 fans who had braved the rain, going down by 32 points to 0. Sterling slips it to Muggleton. He changes his mind. Ooh, and the tackle coming in, but it's got over to Balstead from Rogers, and a simple try. Good play by Rogers. You can see here Rogers anticipates the tackle coming in, somehow manages to get that ball away to Kerry Boosted, who's already in the clear, and an easy touchdown. Les Boyd ploughing his way through, and he's got through 3 tackles and he's over. Now that was bad covering by the St Helens defence. The kick through, and it goes to Gross. Hint of obstruction there, but Gross on his way. The cover's coming across. They're not going to get him. The big number 2 is in for another try. Superb try, and the Knowsley Road fans applaud that. Sterling, Kenny, Misses out Rogers. Growth again. Blasts his way through. Inside Rogers. Looks one way. Gives it the other way. Rod ready. Poor pass. Goes loose. Sterling picks up. Still with Australia. Kenny. To Growth. And it's the big man going through again. And he's down, but he wasn't held. And he scores yet another try. Superb try. Sterling takes a return. Ball flicked out there to Rogers, and Rogers is going like a train. And he's showing the pace he showed at Barrow on Friday night, and he's in for a try.
Are you playing in the pound of hole business, Willie, or what?
Yeah, he's playing me.
What?
Well, you bet him and I'll bet him, or I'll bet Wally, pound a hole.
Huh?
No, I'm betting you, pound a hole.
Yeah. We're playing a 3-ball, aren't we?
Yeah, but I'll just bet you and bet him too.
So you just want to play us both then?
Why don't you just play?
Well, I'll bet everyone.
I'll just come along to the right.
Oh, I don't care. Pull up. Oh, I'm all right, then. Oh, shot. Hope it doesn't go on the green. I think that's on.
It's up there anyway.
Good shot, Sarge. We'll have Sunday off.
We're playing on that, so.
Depends on what's up. Depends on what, yeah.
Oh,
I'll have a drink Sunday.
That'll be a must.
Right.
The lead side there, you see, has got plenty of experience, although they are tonight without a couple of their better-known players, Steve Pitchford, the prop forward, who broke an arm recently, and scrum half Kevin Dick. Now Sterling working it with Krilic, back for Boyd, tricky customer. Sterling again making a little dancing skip between two Leeds defenders. Couldn't quite get through, but it's looking promising for the Australians. Kenny to Rogers, can he get through? Yes he can, and Rogers is going in for the first try of the night. The first tackle around his neck didn't count, and so Steve Rogers goes in for his 4th try of the tour in 5 games. And with me tonight I've got former Great Britain star Brian Lockwood, who's played many times against the Australians, and that was the last thing that Leeds wanted to do, Brian, to concede an early try.
To concede a try like that as well, where it was covered, 2 players had hold of him, and David had hold of him, you know, but he went round the neck, and Steve's such a strong fella, he just pushed him away, and then he just cleared away from with his own pace. He just shot there. There's no way we're going to get to him.
Holmes once more in the thick of it at the moment. The ball's worked to Les Dill, who's got pace. Les Dill, can he get the ball out for Andrew Smith? He can. Smith trying to get it back inside. Good cover tackling from Brentnell and from Kenny. And that's brought the Leeds crowd to its feet. Young has got it away to Meninga, and here's the winger who's got a great chance. Kerry Bowstead. Oh, well, that was lightning, and they almost didn't exist, the defence. Kerry Bowstead is having a very good tour indeed. That's the 4th try he's scored. It's out on the lead side, but in quickly was Sterling to capitalise and get the ball for the touring team. Pearce, oh, going well, and if Pearce has got the strength and the legs here, he must surely get a chance for getting Kerry Bowstead in. Meninga now, who's strong and powerful, and that's just how strong and powerful. Well, I said earlier that Meninga took some stopping once he was on the burst, and he took the try well, but a great break by the loose forward Pearce. Now Holmes looking for another route. It's in a high kick. Eric Growth is under it and fields safely. Goes on the outside, the flying wingman. Oh, this is going to be a great score if he gets to the line as he does. Fine try indeed by Eric Grove. From the minute he took the catch from John Holmes' clearance, he was going to take some stopping. And the wild-looking woolly man from Australia works his way in at the corner. His third try of the tour, and what a fine one it was. He's being congratulated by the entire Australian side. I think everybody a little sceptical as to the outcome of the Test series, having seen what these Australians can do. Rogers now moving it out. Oh, Bousted flying away down that wing, inside one. Meninga surely going to canter in for his second try. And they're really turning it on now, these Kangaroos. Applause for Meninga all around the ground. Ella going one way and then the other. Brentl's up in the line, so is Rogers. Oh, he couldn't quite get it away. He might keep going himself. He was pinned, and Ella is going to get over by the... Yes, he's over with Steve Ella under the posts. Complaints from the lead supporters. First of all, they thought that Steve Rogers had been held, and secondly, I think they felt that Ella hadn't quite grounded the ball properly. Seemed to skip over the line and almost ground the ball twice as he went. That's the sixth tackle. So is there going to be another of those delicate little kicks, or will Rogers keep it coming? He does. He keeps it going to McCabe. And now it's being swung out right. Oh, and Kenny's through the gap. Oh, this is brilliant by Kenny. And Ella is surely going to go over in the far corner of the pitch. He's there all right, is Steve Ella for his second try. Kenny made the initial break after the ball had been swung right by Steve Rogers. Rogers getting out of one tackle, feeding Kenny, and Kenny's acceleration took him into a favourable position to get Ella in for his second try and the Australian 7. Alan, it's taken 20 years for you to play against the Australians in a club side. What do you think?
It does, yes, because I've been toured in 70 and played them in the World Cup in 70 over here, and then 73. I've never played against them whilst I've been playing for Leeds. It's always a pleasure. I mean, to play touring side, it stimulates the excitement, not only in the crowd but in the players as well. Some of the players tend to be a little bit overawed, but believe me, these lads are very, very professional. They are, the last time I played them, what was 9 years ago, and yes, they're improving all the time. The fitness, they play the basics so good, so fast. You've really got to be on your mettle to stop them.
Brian Lockwood has said he reckons that this is probably the best Kangaroo side ever to come to Britain.
Yeah, they've won every match quite convincingly, and at the moment we can't really deny what Brian's said. It looks that way. They made a very impressive start. They're rattling up lots of points, good tries against good club sides. You know, the testing time will come, of course, a week on Saturday when
That's
the first test.
That's absolutely right. Can you see any way at the moment that Britain can beat them?
I can, because if our lads, it's a case of getting amongst them. There were just one or two occasions tonight where we just put them under pressure, but we couldn't maintain it. We couldn't sustain any flow. I do hope that the Great Britain squad have lived together, they've trained together well, and that not only will they be on the toes, they will be equal to the sort of match, and that if they get amongst them, hopefully they can beat them.
You've come up against a rare old personality, I reckon, tonight in Eric Grove. Now, he looks a bit different with that wild woolly beard, and he can fly a bit.
He certainly can. I sort of didn't really get to very close grips with him, really, for what, something like 60 minutes of the game. But then Johnny Holmes kicked a nice ball to him, you know, and he got lots of room to work in. Well, of course, he went down on my right-hand side, and I don't think he sort of moved about 2 feet from the wing on a straight line, and he got a very impressive try.
Eric, we've just been talking to your opponent tonight, Alan Smith, about the try in particular that you scored. Just tell us about your side of things.
Well, I was pretty lucky more than anything. He lost his footing on the side, which let me get past him, and from then on it was just straight forward to the line.
He's one of the most experienced wingers we've got in Britain as well. I think he might have tried to old-man you a little bit by forcing you inside.
Yeah, I had to get him back anyway, because he beat me in a tackle over here in the first half.
Was it an enjoyable game to play? Because, I mean, you're winning so many matches by big margins that people are suspecting you've not had a true test yet.
Yeah, I think we're getting the referees on our side a bit more this time too, like on the last tour. Apparently I heard that the referees gave the Australians a hard time, which made it hard to win games, you know.
If you go into the first test match with a string of big victories behind you, is there any danger at all of complacency, do you feel?
I don't think so. All the boys know what it's all about, and there'll be no complaints here at all.
Well, David, for all their attacking so far, the Australians have been a little bit slipshod at times near the line.
Yeah, I think we're seeing again that there is definitely a first-team panel of players who are that one class above a lot of the players on here today. There's 4 or 5 lads who are playing for a test spot, either on the bench or in the team itself. But it's surprising when the key men are missing, how the fluidity of the Australians is reduced. But this first score, whichever way it goes, is going to be a real moral booster to which side gets the points on the board.
There must be a chance here. Australia have the ball. The big man McKinnon trying to force his way over. And they'll be queuing up for this first try, one imagines now, as the ball is slipped inside them. Oh, it was Schubert who slipped. He's got the ball away to Murray, though, who gets that first try that we were talking about. Easy enough in the end. And Mark Murray, who scored in his first appearance of this tour at Barrow, scores again on his second appearance. And Rod Reddy again gets into the gap. On a nice little bit of interplay. Schubert to Eller. Outside him is Anderson. Eller might get there himself. Oh, and he's gone round on the outside and did so well not to put a foot in touch at all. And that is a magnificent try by Steve Eller. How on earth he managed to avoid putting a foot in touch, I'll never know. The Australians doing exactly what David House said at the start of our broadcast, that once they get into gear, they really can be relentless. They take the steam out of the opposition, ready, throwing the ball around. Now McCabe coming on the burst. Out onto that far side, and this must be another try in the far corner. And well taken it was by John Rebo. And Rebo gets his first try of the tour. Brown, the long ball out there for Schubert, who's strong, so is Rebo. This time he is in, and nobody could have any qualms about that try at all. There is not a complaint anywhere in the ground, as John Rebo gets his second try to make the score now 19 points to 2. Mortimer fooling everybody there. Reddy was the man to collect the pass in the end. Now Brown coming through is Schubert. Dives into a forest of red shirts. Still not got over the line in this second half. Which, of course, the Welsh best spell in the first half was in the opening minutes. Ready, this time Eller is in for his hat-trick. And the Australian put in, and Brown has been winning the second half scrums, but it's given away a penalty there. So Will Hopkins put another 2 points on the board for Wales. They're going to try and run it, might as well go, and that's bringing applause as Shaw goes leaping forward. And that really would encourage the crowd here if the Welsh could snatch a try. Williams, they're roaring him on, he's made it! Brynmore Williams punches the air, he gets his first try in International Rugby League, and that Australian record has been broken. A bit of tackling there by Shaw, by Ringer holding him down, but just for the second. And now Murray, and the ball must surely come inside, and Ellis got his fourth try. And every one of them has been right under the posts, and Steve Eller is having an absolute field day. And again, and now Lewis, and Lewis is going in for the try. Lewis is over just at the moment that the announcement was made that Eller has indeed been named man of the match. 37-7. David, disappointed by the margin of the result, I'm sure.
Yes, obviously disappointed, but one has to be a realist in sport and not to run away from the situation. They were far better organised, they were far better team on the day. They have played exceptionally well already on this tour, and they've already posed Britain many threats, I think, for the Test series starting next Saturday. We got together on Friday. It's very difficult when you have a team of players together just for 2 training sessions and to go straight into an international match against a side who were armed with all the armoury that they had, and they looked good. I think they gave the Welsh public a good impression with good backing up, good running, and a lot of good tries which people appreciated.
Mike Murray. Steve Rogers. Ian Schubert. John River. Frank Carrigan, the manager. Dr. Monahan.
This is it. Look at the guts that you only won the line.
We have a number? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 5, 6, 7, 28. Oh, good number. 28.
First thing we'll be doing will be announcing the test team.
I'll read the team out as it's numbered. It's number 1, Greg Bretnell. Number 2, Eric Graf. Number 3, Mal Menenga. Number 4, Steve Rogers. Number 5, Kerry Burstead. Number 6, Brett Kenny. Number 7, Peter Sterling. Number 8, Craig Young. Number 9, Max Krilich, captain. Number 10, Les Boyd. Number 11, Wayne Pearce. Number 12, Rod Reddy. Number 13, Ray Price. Number 14, Steve Ella. Number 15, John Muggleton. Number 16, Wally Lewis. And number 17, Rod Morris.
John, the lads are just completing their final preparations for the first test match here at Boothbury Park on Saturday against the Australians. How have things gone?
Well, they've gone very, very well. And the attitude of the players has been tremendous. And the weather's been very, very kind to us, so we've got plenty of training in. And we're feeling well as a side. We've worked very well together, so, you know, on the day we hope to put it all together and it comes good.
How do you think Des Drummond to cope with the big lad growth?
Well, I think you should reverse that and say how's growth going to, you know, handle Des Drummond? Because in sheer movements, I mean, growth is a straight runner, a very, very big strong straight runner. But he needs room to run. I mean, Desi needs half an inch either side and it's night-night.
And the kicking could be an important factor in the match on Saturday if it's very tight. Is Lee Crooks going to do the kicking for Great Britain?
Well, at this particular stage, he'll be handed the kicking job. Actually, was going to use it today, but there's no sticks up, so it's just put a kibosh on that. But it'll be a crucial factor because it'll be a very, very tight game. I mean, people, because they're Australians and they've been playing with a lot of flair, they won't find that kind of room to move on Saturday, so, you know, it could revolve around goal kicking, and it should be a tight game.
Where's the electrical tape?
There's someone there.
Electrical tape, buddy, Jimmy.
You roll it? You roll it.
Well, rolls, I've got to say, it is about you like. How you like things out?
The Great Britain side come on to the Boothby Park pitch, and they are to take on the touring Kangaroos, who are unbeaten in their run so far in this country. And here come the Kangaroos onto the Boothby Park pitch. And it's going to be Steve Rogers for Australia to kick off in this first test match. Australia kicking from left to right. High tension here at Boothby Park, and the ball is kicked forward, and it's Des Drummond, the favourite of the crowd here, that gets the ball. Stopped by Craig Young. Now 2 minutes gone, and the teenager Lee Crooks has the chance to put Great Britain into a 2-point lead. Australia called offside at play the ball. Can the youngster do it? Looks good, and he's done it. 2 points to Great Britain. Krilich, bobbing and weaving. Rod Reddy throws a long ball. That's Price. Now Meninga going through. He's got boosted outside him, but he goes on his own. What a try. First try of the game, and Australia go into the lead. Peter Sterling had a very successful tour so far, and he's going through. Well done, Peter Sterling. Rogers. And the ball is thrown back, picked up by Boosted. Now it's Pearce inside, and it's Les Boyd that's going to go over. The prop, number 10, Les Boyd, has scored the second try. Now it's Great Britain in possession. And a bit of mishandling there. Des Drummond's got to get it. He's lost it, and it's picked up by Eric Groth. Now can he get to the line? George Fairburn, Drummond's there, and a try's been given. And I think Fairburn and Drummond disagree with that decision, but the try has been given. Eric Groth. It's Australia coming forward again. Rogers goes the opposite way. Can he get through? No, he's pulled down just short of the line by Fairburn. Still Australia possession. Sterling takes it from Price, gives the return, and Price is going to be in. What a well-worked try. Ray Price, the loose forward. And Australia go into an 18-4 lead. Sterling out to Rogers. He's tackled. No, he's not. He's broken free. Gets it inside. Good ball. Kenny to Boosted. Dill's after him, but he can't stop him. Try for Kerry Boosted. 23-4 to Australia. So once again, the green tide comes forward. Pearce breaks forward. Gets it inside to Kenny. Drummond misses his tackle, and Kenny's going to be over for a try. Now Meninga there first to congratulate him, and it's 28 points to 4. Max Krilich burrowing through there, gets the ball away. And it's to Pearce, and Pearce is through, no one to challenge him. Fairburn's beaten, and Pearce goes over. Yet another Australian try, 33-4. Kenny. Rogers drops it. Kenny picks it up. That was fortuitous. Now it's Greg Brentford breaking through. He slips it, and it goes through to Rod Reddy. And it's Rod Reddy, the second row forward, that goes over for yet another try.
Rest to kill.
Televista Studios bring you top sports coverage from the very thick of the action. Plus sparkling light entertainment. Televista also produces education, training and documentary programs. And if your requirement is current affairs and news items, or if you need promotion and advertising that really works, then think Televista Studios. Televista Studios, your video production house in the north. Televista Studios, 248 Meanwood Road, Leeds. Telephone Leeds 621166.
The Australians come to Hilton Park fresh from their emphatic victory in the first test to take on last season's league champions Lee. Australia get it from the scrum. Mortimer pops it up to Wally Lewis. One-handed pass to Meninga, and he's big and he's strong. Can he get through? He can't, but he pops it up to Paul McCabe, and McCabe's in for the first try of the match. Paul McCabe wearing number 11. And that gives us an opening scoreline, 3 points to Australia, 0 to Lee. Mortimer. McCabe again, bursting through, looking for support. Finds it inside where he finds Meninga. Des Drummond stops him, but Meninga is managing to get it through to Rebo, and Rebo's in for another try. Australia 8, Lee 2. Schubert. McCabe. Miles out to Rebo. Drummond can't stop him, and Rebo's in for his second try of the night. 11 points to 2. Now John Woods has got 2 goals on the scoreboard for Lee, but they trail. They've only got 4 points, and it's Ella bursting through for Australia inside to McCabe. And that's his second try of the night, Paul McCabe. Once again, Australia coming forward. They're really firing on all cylinders now. McCabe, who's had an excellent game so far. Schubert. That's through to Muggleton, and he's got the legs, and Muggleton goes in at the corner. John Woods to Hunter. He looks for support outside, finds it from Drummond, but the pass goes astray. They pick up possession again, though, but they hit a green shield. Oh, and we've got problems now. The touch judge is on, and punches are flying, and everybody's joining in this. And this is shocking, and it's almost in the crowd. This needs sorting out. One-handed pass to McCabe. Still with McCabe. He's got Anderson in support, and no one's going to catch Chris Anderson as he goes in for his third try of the game. A hat-trick for Chris Anderson. 34-4. Mortimer. Gene Miles goes one way. Pushes off. Oh, and what a pass from Miles. Finds Muggleton. And that's it. Australia record their highest score of the tour so far.
Paul, you got 3 of the tries. How did you see the game?
It was a little bit tough early in the game. The referee made it a little bit hard for us with the constant penalties upon us. But we settled it down and played good football in the second half, and threw the ball about, and the backing up resulted in some very good tries.
Must be a bit frustrating for people like you and John Rebo and Chris Anderson playing well in a game like this, getting the tries, and after the test victory last Saturday, very difficult to get in the test side.
Oh yeah, Bob, it is disappointing, but I mean, like, you never know your luck, you know, like they play very well, every player in the test team, but there's probably not a player out there tonight that couldn't really replace one of the guys in the test side, you know. It's a great touring squad. The whole squad is there's a lot of good footballers here, and all we can do is keep trying to play well. You know, we're still playing for our country, even though it's against the county sides in England. But we've all just got to give our best every week, and you never know, you could fling a test spot.
24 minutes gone, and the Australians certainly know they've got a match on their hands. They trail by 4 points to 2, and they're having the hardest match they've had since the Wigan game earlier on in the tour. So it's a penalty kick to the Australians following that scrum infringement. Ray Price goes forward on his own, doesn't get too far. Chris Anderson, dummy half, through to McCabe, and McCabe's over. First try of the match. Paul McCabe, Australia 5, Bradford Northern 4. So it's Bradford coming forward. Gresham gets the ball out to Mumby. And there's a heavy tackle coming in from Price. And the line touch judge is on. And the referee's calling him over. And Alan Redfern stuck one on the chin of Ray Price, and if I'd have had that, I wouldn't wake up until after the third test. Redfern to Kells, out to Keith Mumby. He's in line for a test place, and he's going down that wing, playing in the centre today. Right down that wing, inside to Kells, and finally he's stopped by a combination of Growth and Brentnell. Kenny gets the ball away. Greg Brentnell, and he's in for a try. Greg Brentnell, the fullback, 10 points to 6. Long kick downfield, well into the Australian 25. That's Eric Grother to pick up. And he'll start to come forward. Cover coming across. And he's burst through the first defence and through another. Full-back Green comes across to McCabe. Into Brett Kenny, and he's in for a try. Well, in fact, the referee blew up for a forward pass. Let's have a look at that. Paul McCabe in possession. He's being covered. It took a deflection, and to me, it looked okay. Kenny. Miles picks up, in for a simple try, fortuitous bounce, 13 points to 6. And that'll be the final score as the hooter goes. Three minutes into the second half, and Australia lead by 16 points to 2. 4 tries from McKinnon, Sterling, who's now been replaced by Rogers, and 2 by John Rebo. And it's Australian pressure again now. Play the ball 2 yards from the Cumbrian line. McCabe inside to Rogers, and he's over. Substitute Rogers. Makes the score Australia 19, Cumbria 2. Greg Brentnell bursting through to Steve Eller, and he's going to make it to the line. No catching him now. Steve Eller under the post. Wally Lewis clips a neat ball through. Rogers chases. Oh, and Mel Meninga picks up out to Boosted, and this surely must be another score for the Australians. Indeed it is. Australia 31, Cumbria 2. McKinnon. Long ball, and it's Meninga. He's past that tackle, and he's going to go all the way. I can't see him being caught now. Mel Meninga in for another try to add to his record, 34-2. McKinnon again out to Pearce, and Pearce breaks clear, and he's going to go all the way. The only man chasing him's a referee, and I think Pearce can beat him. Terry Moore comes at the last minute, just as Pearce drops over the line, 39 points to 2.
Wayne, another 40-point victory here tonight against Cumbria, but you didn't really have it all your own way today. They put up a bit of a fight tonight.
Yeah, well, that was the rep side for the clubs up in this area, and they put up a bit of a fight there early on, but again, they ran into a bit of steam in towards the end of the game there, and the floodgates opened a little bit, but it was by no means easy. And I didn't really fall over in the shower either up there. You know, that happened on the field, so it was a little bit of a knock.
There were 1 or 2 knocks taken by Peter Sterling and Maxi Krilich got injuries. How are they?
Oh, they're not too bad. They'll get treatment straight away tonight, and they'll be working on it for the next few days. And I couldn't see them missing any games really.
Les Boyd was initially down to play tonight, but he didn't play as he got a knock of some sort.
Well, Boydie, well, there's 28 players in the squad, and you can only put 13 on the field. And Les had a little bit of a knock, so probably decided not to play him. I don't know, but you can only play 13 players at once, and that's probably what they're doing.
John, you got another couple of tries tonight, and you had 3 against Lee. It must be a bit frustrating for you, not quite getting in that Test side and yet scoring every game you play.
Yeah, that's right, Bob, but I had a pretty ordinary start to the tour. I just wasn't used to the conditions, and I paid the penalty. I didn't play too well, so it's just a matter of getting out there each game now and scoring tries and putting pressure on the players, because it's definitely a game-to-game proposition over here. And if I'm playing better than the blokes coming into the Test or whatever, and I've got some form on the board, or if someone does unfortunately get injured, well, I'm there to play. So you just got to keep giving it your best. There's 28 great players over here, and it's a great thing just to play in the sides and be part of the Australian team. So I'm just going to go out there and try and put pressure on the other lads, and hopefully with a bit of luck, you never know what can happen in rugby league.
Right, of course, the wing positions, you're particularly strong, this Australian side, with Kerry Bowstead, Eric Groth, yourself and Chris Anderson.
Yes, right.
And it's a very specialised position, really. So this makes it even more difficult for you, I should imagine.
Oh, it does. You know, I think, well, Kerry's been playing good football, and so's Eric's he's played exceptionally well ever since he got here, and like I say, it's just a matter of trying to play good football and keeping those blokes honest, and, you know, if I can keep scoring tries, well, I'm putting pressure on them. It's good for the whole side then, because I'm bringing out the best in them, because pressure brings out the best in rugby league players, I think.
David, rugby league at Fulham now, it's been going for 3 years. It was an experiment, obviously, to start with. How would you say it's worked out?
I think the progress report would be very promising, John. After all, we've been struggling for, 86 years to establish the game outside the northern fastnesses, and we've had 2 tries in London before, but I have real hopes for Fulham. I think they've gone about it very much the right way. This grafting on to an already existing organisation must help. A lot of expertise, a lot of experience there. I think Harold Genders has done a splendid job in selecting the players to do the job, and I think they've just done that. They've also given a lot of attention to the game at amateur level and in the schools. Without that grassroots, of course, the game in the South would eventually not flourish. But I think they've done that very sensibly, and I'm very hopeful.
Craven Cottage, Fulham, the home, as you see there, of Fulham's soccer and rugby league clubs, and it's 71 years since the Australians came here to Craven Cottage. And then they played against an England team in an international match, which the Australians won by 11 points to 6. Fulham have done a good holding job so far. Schubert, he's still got the ball, and it rebounded kindly for him. And there is the first try for Mark Murray. Well, there was an element of fortune there, because Schubert was really juggling with the ball like a bar of soap. And then as he turned round, he found himself in space. I think he confused everybody unwittingly. Carried on with a good run though, turned the ball inside, and Mark Murray sprints over between the sticks. Crossley decides to swing it left to Beverley, willing workhorse in the pack. Now Bowden, Suto again, who's run well. Diamond, and Barkley's got another chance. He's come inside, and there won't be much. Oh, there might be. There might still be a route to the try line. Forward into the gap went Lewis, and outside must be an overlap if they can work the ball back. At that time McCabe, well, turned inside to Ella, and Steve Ella goes in for his customary try. Every time Steve Ella puts on the Australian jersey, he seems to figure among the try scorers. And Mortimer, oh, he's got through the gap well, and turn it inside for Ella. There must be a try here. Ella's going all the way himself, and finally gets it away to McCabe, who's over. Good try. And interesting again that it was Steve Mortimer who made the initial inroads, nicely taken on by Ella, who had the speed, the conviction, and the passing ability to get Paul McCabe in for the Aussies' third try. So Australia looking to notch their 4th try here. They're right under the posts as well, as McKinnon goes for the line, and he's got his man in. The 4th try of the afternoon. It goes to John Muggleton, and really, Harry, that try was always on.
It was always on, and when it came, it was so simple. Donny McKinnon just held the ball up in the tackle, and there was John Muggleton coming through in support. A very easy try, and really bad defensive work by Fulham. They should have covered that move.
Cambriani was alert then. Suto. Bodle tries to knock it on to Tufts. Well, there'll be a gap opening up if they can win the sprint. Now then, is there a dramatic try on here for Fulham? Mbaki's chasing it with Ella, who's there. Mbaki's over. He's got the try. A tragic mistake by Ella, who couldn't ground. He couldn't hold the ball as it slipped away from his grasp. And there'll be no more popular try scored on this entire Australian tour. Lewis back inside for Ella, and oh, if McKinnon gets it as he does, it must be a try. Well, it's the third time really that I've used the word fortune about a try this afternoon, because it's looked as though they might lose the ball, yet every time you have to admire the planned move which produced the try as it did then for Donny McKinnon. Crossley willing to run it. Oh, he's lost the ball, and what a place to lose it in. There must surely be a try here for John Rebo. Well, he won't get an easier try on this tour. And that really was a tragedy for John Crossley, who lost possession in the worst conceivable place, and Rebo the simplest of tasks to capitalise. Steve, I thought that was your best performance of the tour.
Thanks very much, John. It was a good performance, part of a very good side, because Fulham played very, very well.
They're a second division side, and yet they've probably given you as good a game as anyone.
Well, if they're a second division side, I don't know why they're not in the first division, because they certainly tested us today, and I think full marks must go to Fulham. They played very well.
Conditions must have been very difficult. It rained for part of the game and for a good long time before the match.
Yes, it was very difficult, but that's something we have come to expect over here in England, and so we've got to combat that by making sure of our handling and passing of the ball. But I thought it was just typical today of what we're expecting, and I think we've just got to probably cut our mistake rate down a little bit.
How conscious do you think the 13 players out there were that you were just 6 days away from a test match?
Well, very conscious. Like the competition, especially in my position too, but the competition in all the positions is very, very intense, so there's no sort of really second string side, because everyone is playing for a test position, and as you know, the competition brings the best out into anyone, and Australia, I think, has got 2 capable test sides, and everyone's striving to get in that first 13.
Australians then come here to Hull tonight, looking to set up a new record. They've won their first 11 matches on this tour, amassing an incredible 332 points, and if they win tonight, well, it'll be the most successful start ever by a Kangaroo touring team. Sterling, first time we've really seen him. Kenny, nice passing. Rogers trying to make the break, and Meninga is held on that touchline. And got a lot to offer this game of rugby league as Lee Crooks, who's in possession once more. Great cheers going up all around there. Now the touch judge on this side is on the field, and not surprising, punches being flung left, right and centre. Again, Boyd was in the middle of it, and so was Lee Crooks. And the touch judge immediately came to intervene. The referee was on the spot. That's the third time there has been fighting of that sort in the opening minutes of this game. As Boosted will play the ball back. Sterling's looking for it and gets it. A little kick through. Oh, it could be a good one. Oh, it hits the foot of the post, and it's a Hull player that falls on it. I think if that ball had missed the post, there must have been a try on the cards for loose forward Ray Price, who was just waiting in anticipation. As it turned out, Hull got their possession. Ooh, that's not a really good kick by Rogers either. It's gone straight to Steve Evans, who's trying to set up a good attacking position here. Toplish trying to work things with Crane. They've lost the ball, it's coming wide though. Can Prendeville get in the corner? He might well do. Prendeville almost making it, trying to squirm his way in at the corner. The supporters behind me were shrieking their heads off, and it was almost impossible to see whether he was going to make it or not. He didn't. And Prendeville has picked up something of a knock there, but that the closest that either side has really come to a try, apart from that disallowed effort from Steve Rogers. So 28 minutes of this game are gone, and here's Lee Crooks. 2 points. Hull are in front. Still a few yards to go to the line, but Hull really willing to fling this ball about. Crooks once more for fullback Campbell. The Australian tackling there exemplary, but still Hull driving at the line. The little chip through. He's there. It's a try for Hull, right on the stroke of half-time, and that's a brilliant try from David Topless, which puts Hull into a 5-point lead with power to add. Brilliant football as David Topless goes back to the halfway line. He's got plenty to celebrate there. That was great football thinking. The little chip through, and he got his palm to the ball first. And David Topless registers a try against the Australians, a feat in itself, which is why they've got their huddle behind the goalposts. All a bit scruffy out there at the moment. Sterling tries to bring some semblance of order to it. Now Reddy's gone well. Good running, and Brett Kenny, the pass wasn't a good one. He was too far behind Meninga, too far ahead of Rogers, but he's still got possession. Steve Rogers showing what a good centre he is, and getting the pass into Peter Sterling. Sterling got 2 tries at Hull Kingston Rovers. If he can get his man in here for Australia, as he has indeed, and Boosted has got the try, and that all stemmed from the play by Peter Sterling. First of all, Rod Reddy charging in, then Peter Sterling carrying it on, and the pass in the end was a good one, and Kerry Boosted goes in at the corner for his 7th try of the tour. That was Kenny, who was up quickly to get possession for Australia. He's had a quiet match really, as Brett Kenny, but he was seen to good evidence then. Reddy's fought one tackle off. No, he hasn't. Stuck at it well then, did Crooks. They did Wailulu. Sterling. There could well be a big gap here if Pearce can get the ball away as he does to Meninga, who's off down that touchline, and tackle from Campbell. He's got the ball back inside though to Groth. That was brilliant football by the Australians. First of all by Sterling, then by Meninga doing down the touchline, and finally by Eric Groth, who got the touchdown. Groth's 5th try, and what a fine one it was. So much to admire there. Meninga's powerful running, the good tackle by Campbell which stopped him going all the way, but then the ball turned inside by Meninga, and Eric Groth gets the try. Tony Dean was quick to get back into the thick of it, but it's a penalty to Australia. Nick Harrison's kicking the ball away very foolishly indeed, conceding a needless penalty. And they can ill afford to do silly things like that, Hull. In fact, it's an interesting statistic. There have been 14 penalties against Hull. Not surprisingly, Mal Meninga is going to have a hot shot at goal, because Australia know they're in a real fight here, and if he can land this one, then for the first time in this game, Australia will have their noses in front. Again, the constant banging around the ground, trying to put Meninga off. We'll soon know when we watch the touch judges' flags. There's the kick, it's flat, and it's through. But how lucky, and that maybe has signalled the change of fortunes that Australia needed. The ball canning in off and upright. Pearce not had the running chances tonight that he's had in previous games. Sterling's had a superb second half, he really has. And I think he'll cling on to his test place all right, despite Mortimer's claims. Now Krilic back inside for Reddy, and Reddy still going. He's been superb too. Rogers has Groth outside him. Can Rogers get in? With his brute strength he can. Eric Groth, and the Australians leap in the air. They know that that could well have sealed it. Groth is so strong that he honestly swats people off like flies, and there is virtually no stopping him in full flight. It's his second try, and that surely is going to clinch the Australians' victory and keep their unbeaten record intact. Mick, quite simply, was that the hardest game you've ever played in?
Well, if not the hardest, one of the hardest. It definitely was hard. We set out in the first 20 minutes to hit them with everything we had, try and put them off the game. When we got the ball, put a few chips over the top, try and stop them rushing up at us all the time. And I think it works. I think that's the only way you can beat them. It's the way to break them, you know.
They must be very frustrating to play against, because whereas you basically have jobs during the day and then come and play rugby for fun, they're full-time, aren't they?
Yeah, that's where they've got it over us. They're super fit out there compared with us. We train 2 hours on a Tuesday and Thursday, pouring with rain, snow. They train in the sunshine all day, no jobs, they're all sponsored.
That's your answer, isn't it?
Well,
really?
that is. Until we do that over here, I don't think we've got a chance against them.
So you don't see any hope for Great Britain in the second test?
Well, there's always hope, but I think they'll have to approach it like we did tonight. Hit them with everything they've got the first 20 minutes and take it from there.
Mal, I don't think there's any question about it. That's probably the hardest game you've had.
Definitely the hardest. We came here tonight and expecting a hard one, and we got one.
Were you worried at all at any stage you might just get beaten?
Oh, no, we're always worried, you know, especially when they went 7-0 up at half-time, you know. But we were playing well at the time. They were playing a little bit better, but, you know, the second half we come out a bit fired and, you know, we got the results, which was the main thing.
How much does it mean to you, the fact you've now set up a record as the most successful Kangaroo touring team, winning the first 12 matches?
Well, you know, it's a tremendous thing to be part of, you know. It's you know, we've got a lot of criticism when the team was first picked over in Australia, and you know, we're very pleased that we did break the record, and just hope we can set a new record and win all the games over here in England.
Central Park, Wigan, venue for the second Dominion Insurance Test match between Australia and Great Britain. And here we can see Max Krilic, the Australian skipper, leading his side onto the Central Park pitch. Craig Young there, followed by Les Boyd, the two props. Rod Reddy, followed by Ray Price. Wally Lewis, the back substitute, and Ray Brown, the forward substitute. And here we have Jeff Gresham leading on the Great Britain lads. Des Drummond there. And this is a welcome match for Henderson Gilpan on his home pitch. Trevor Skerritt and the two Leeds lads, David Heron and John Holmes. So the scene is set. The Ashes could be decided today. 18 minutes gone, scoreline 2 points each. Sterling going through. Mumby's penalty equalled out a Meninga penalty earlier. Ray Price breaks through. Has he got the try? He has. 5 points to 2. Australia get the first try. Ray Price from a play the ball, and over he goes. Peter Sterling there did some good work to set up Ray Price for that opening try. So we have the scoreline: Australia 5, Great Britain 2. Craig Young, Rod Reddy to Meninga, to Growth. And Peter Sterling's in the clear. Can he get over? Drummond chases him, but he can't stop him. Peter Sterling over for a try. Bit of a tangle there with Des Drummond, but he's over for the try. 10 points to 2. Australia come forward again. Wayne Pearce breaks through, the number 11, Brett Kenny. And he gets the ball away back to Pearce. Now Growth. And he's got 2 tackles, but he's over. Eric Growth, what a wonderful try. But he looks as though he's picked up an injury there. But he's got the try, and that's what counts. 15 points to 2. Dal Green going forward on his own from play the ball. Knocks over Max Krilic. But Boyd and Young down him. And the referee's awarded a penalty there. Hello, we've got trouble. Les Boyd retaliating there. Now this is what we don't want to see. The touch judge is on, and Les Boyd is off. Rescanier, the referee from Perpignan in France, has sent off Les Boyd, the number 10, the prop for Australia. The second time he's been sent off on this tour. If one can remember, he was sent off in the opening game of the tour at Hull Kingston Rovers. So this can upset the apple cart for Australia, as Les Boyd is led off. Sterling to Craig Young, tries to burst through. Down he goes. The big number 8. Wally Lewis, substitute back. And a long ball out to Meninga. Can Meninga get through? He beats Drummond and it's a try. 20 points to 6. And what a pass from Wally Lewis. Must have gone 30 yards to set up Mel Meninga. Superb. 20 points to 6 now, Australia, a man down. Brown to Rogers, and he bursts through that attempted tackle and he's over for another try. 25 points to 6, Steve Rogers. Now we're in the last minute and the Ashes almost certainly going to Australia. They played for 46 minutes with only 12 players and they deserve what they came here to get. They're going to get the Ashes. Max Krilich there, the skipper, he will be well pleased with his side's performance today. David Heron in possession. Down he goes under the tackle from Mel Meninga. The hooter goes. And that's it. Australia have won 27 points to 6. And the Ashes go down under. Superb display by the Australians. Not forgetting the part that Great Britain took in this match. Very appreciative Central Park crowd. And here we see the triumphant skipper, Max Krilich, carried aloft by Wally Lewis, his vice-skipper, and Steve Rogers.
Max, many congratulations. You must be an extremely proud man this afternoon.
Well, thanks, Bob. Yes, I am extremely proud. I think it was a magnificent effort by all the players on the field today. They really showed true grit and courage to come against adversity and make it a fine Ashes win.
You must have been a very worried man when Les Boyd got sent off and knocked you down to 12 players. Still 46 minutes of the game to play.
Well, that was an unfortunate incident. Well, you know, I was worried. You know, they had a full half to go, and we had to pull out all stops. Then, you know, and I would say it was possibly the best tackling performance ever by a football team that kept them to no tries. They were quite a good football side, and we didn't allow them any room to move. It was a great effort.
2 matches to go. One at Widnes on Tuesday, and then the final test at Headingley next Sunday. Do you think you're going to manage 2 victories there and go through with a 100% record?
Well, as far as the players are concerned, it'll be a crying shame if we get beat. But the only people who are going to beat us are our opposition and ourselves. If we get carried away with our wins and all that sort of thing, and if we don't go out and produce the goods against Widnes and in the third test, well, all these games that we've won beforehand have meant nothing. We've won the series, that's okay, but all the beforehand games don't mean a thing. We've got to win these next 2 games to create a record. And then it's going to be a record that's going to be hard to beat ever. You know, it's going to show what a great football team we've really got.
Unpleasant, but Mick Burke has landed 1 goal, and it's not a night for goal kicking really, but he'll squelch his way up to the ball, he'll kick it, and he's kicked it pretty true again, and that's well, that's remarkable. That was almost an action match replay, Roy.
Yeah, I hope they don't give him any more shots from there, but Widnes have started the game off very well, so they're going to be hard to keep out, but I'm quite sure Australia can come back.
Oh, and almost an interception, the ball falling back kindly for Paul McCabe, and it's back to 6 tackles. Well, there was certainly a danger of an interception there for Widnes, which didn't work out, and Mortimer is going through and gets the first try of the night. And that's Steve Mortimer's first try on the tour, and, well, really, it's come from the first time the Aussies threatened the line. Just look at the rain streaming down. It's an absolutely horrible night here. Oh, but good play there, working the ball to McCabe, who's going to go all the way, and that really is a superb try. You might say that there was a question mark against the Widnes tackling, but all credit to Paul McCabe, a really rangy second rower. Well, Paul McCabe's one of those people trying to stake a claim for a test place. He's done his chances, no harm at all there. Mortimer jinking and wriggling his way through to try and get Rod Morris over. Rod Morris, one of the few Aussies on this tour who's not yet scored a try. And Ella Mortimer is over the line. Mortimer's there again for his second try.
It doesn't look like the man wants to leave. They walked around the oval with no raincoats on when it was raining. Now it's only just drizzling. They've got raincoats on, so...
I suspect what it is, you know, that they don't know how to end this number. That's probably it. Oh, and another good run by Myler. He started the second half very well. Widnes really powering it on. Oh, and if that ball had been taken cleanly by Rebo, he'd have had a clear run of the field. And Mortimer wants it again. Keen for the action. Rebo, good ball that one. Rebo looking inside, going outside, and finally getting the ball down over the try line. And Rebo taking advantage of that lovely ball from Steve Mortimer to get his name on the score sheet and register his 9th try of the tour, which brings him level with Steve Eller at the top of the try scoring lists. So Widnes possession, which Gregory will try to use, and that looks like a sending off to me. John Muggleton has been sent off. Well, Muggleton went straight in, and that's probably the end of his chances of test selection at the weekend. Midway inside the 25. Australia would love to get another try now, and they might well get it here. Oh, what a powerful run, and what a magnificent try that one is by Steve Rogers. That's the try of the night, really. I mean, he showed tremendous thrust and power there in fighting off those tacklers. There's a little bit of argy-bargy going on behind the try line. There's no reason for that, because that, for me, was a class centres try.
Chris, an absolutely filthy night here in Widnes. Was it nice to be back?
Yeah, I enjoyed coming back. I had a tremendous time when I was here in '74. It's nice to come back and beat them.
Nostalgic trip in many ways. What did you think of the Widnes performance?
I don't think they're as good a side as they used to be. I think we had to measure most of the night.
It must be very difficult for a winger in conditions like that. You must itch to get more into the game, really.
Yeah, it is hard to get into a game like that. The ball concentrated in the forwards most of the game. It was just too slippery to throw it around too much. But we got to see a little bit of it.
All right. Are you disappointed not to get on the try sheet?
Yeah, it would have been nice, but they're the breaks.
And also, I suspect disappointed not to have made the test side over here, but you've had quite a competition, haven't you, for places, really?
Yeah, not overly disappointed. I struggled. I didn't play many games back home this season, so it was a little bit hard to force yourself into the test side, and with them playing so well, it's just it's hard to drop anyone.
Well, here you go into the final test, 14 wins out of 14. Surely you're not going to let the record go now?
No, the boys are very keen to win the final test. It's never been done before, win every game in England, and it'll be tremendous to be part of it.
We'll also arrange for you to have some exercises with the boot, and you'll do those for 5 minutes 3 times a day after you've had the ultrasound.
Bill, when we first met, when you first arrived in Great Britain, you said to me that you expected probably 8 players wouldn't be available for the final test due to injuries on this arduous tour.
Yes.
We're coming up to the final test now. What is the injury situation?
Well, there's about 5 or 6 at this stage, Bob. A couple of them are serious injuries, and they will probably cause the players to miss the 3rd test. They're important players in the 3rd test, and so I was a little out, but not much.
Could you tell us some of the players that have got injuries and the type of injuries they've got?
Well, Craig Young has got a shoulder injury. That's a serious one, and I doubt very much whether he'll be fit for the 3rd test, but we're trying desperately at this stage. Roddy Morris has also got a neck injury, but that's settling down quite nicely at this stage. A number of the other players have got simple muscle injuries. Of course, the most serious one was Ray Price, who I took to hospital this morning, and who will have his thumb set under anaesthetic at 2 o'clock this afternoon by an orthopaedic surgeon at St James Hospital in Leeds.
Of course, it's not just the matches where these players receive injuries. I've watched some, 1 or 2 of the training sessions, and they're pretty hectic, to say the least. Do you get any problems after training sessions?
Well, in training sessions, of course, you don't get the same degree of injury as you would in match play, because the players are protected, and you've seen the pads we use to ensure that the body contact is minimised. But of course, on the rather slippery grounds over here, there is the risk of injuries to the lower limb, and that's always a great cause for concern.
Alf, what's the most common sort of injury that does occur during a rugby league game?
Well, I suppose with this heavy body contact sport that it is at the present time, fitness is carrying us out in pretty good stead, because we're not getting a great number of injuries. Fitness has been very good. But shoulder injuries, knee injuries are the two injuries that are prevalent now in this body contact sport. But I'd say shoulder injuries are the main one.
Good luck, lads.
They're going to rain right, huh? Eh? No one's going to rain. Yeah. I'll be happy to sign it after the game.
Give to you.
David Topless leads out the Great Britain side for the third and final test here at Headingley. Andy Gregory, the new scrum half, and Max Krilich leads out the triumphant Australians for their final match of the Great Britain tour that could lead to many broken records. Rod Reddy there, followed by Wayne Pearce, and once again Wally Lewis and Ray Brown as subs. 32 minutes gone, Australia lead by 6 points to 2, and it's Bousted that's going down that wing. He gets it inside to Rogers. Kenny takes it on. McCabe, this is brilliant stuff. Oh, and John Rebo knocks forward. We can see this again, a beautiful move. Brett Kenny gets the ball away to McCabe. Gets it over to Rebo, but he can't handle. So Lee Crooks now hoping to pull back the 6-2 deficit with this penalty in front of the posts. This would make it 6 points to 4. And that's straight, and that's over. Good kick from Lee Crooks. 6 points to 4, Australia lead. Noble going on his own, but he's down. And Lee Crooks shapes for a drop goal, and it's over, a brilliant drop goal. So that brings it back to 5-6, and here we can see Lee Crooks made himself room, knew what he was doing, and over it went. Pearce to Sterling, reverse ball to Rod Reddy, pushes off the tackler, gets it to Pearce, and he's quick, he's strong. He gets it back to Rod Reddy, who is quickly in support. Now John Rebo going through. Is it a try? It is. John Rebo's over, 9 points to 5. The man that scored a lot of points against the club sides, in for his first test match, gets a try. Max Krilich. Pearce once again bursts through. This is good stuff from Australia. Kenny to Maxi Krilich. Has he got the legs? The skipper, will he get his first try of the tour? He does. And all his players come and congratulate their skipper. Brilliant stuff from Max Krilich. Now a touch judge is on. We've got trouble. We've got trouble once again. There's discussions going on, both touch judges on. The referee is ordering someone off. David Topless arguing that someone's on their way. And it's Lee Crooks. Lee Crooks, who scored all of Great Britain's points so far, is off the field, and Great Britain are down to 12 men. But they come forward now. And it's out to Evans. Kenny comes across, but he scores a try. Now, this is one of the few tries that Great Britain or any of the club sides have scored. It's certainly the first for Great Britain. What a good try it was. Here we see Evans confronted by Brett Kenny. A good tackle, but the power and the speed got him over. Brett Kenny bursts through. This looks promising for Australia. Bowstead, no problem. In he goes for a try, 17 points to 8. And the break made by Brett Kenny, and Boosted's quick enough to outflank Fairburn, and in he goes for the try. O'Neill. Oh, and he loses possession. Sterling. Out to Rogers. Brett Kenny. Inside to Boosted. Will he get a second try? No, he won't. Rogers may. And he's forced over. He's got there. Rogers has got the try, and this was unfortunate for Mike O'Neill. Hitting the tackle by McCabe, and the ball dropped to Sterling. Australia come forward again. Pearce breaks through once again, and he's going to go in for a try. Crane knocks it short. Clever kick, but that's picked up by Wally Lewis. Lewis picks it up, sells a dummy. And he's broken clear. This could be another dramatic try. Kenny got two people to get by, but he's got by them. 30 points to 8. And this was wonderful play by both, first of all, Wally Lewis. Good control play. You can see he looks for support, gets it from Kenny, but he's still got two players to beat. And he's very clever. And he gets over, 30 points to 8. And there goes the hoot, and Mel Meninga there is just slotted over the goal points. The final score, 32 points to 8. And the Australians have really come good in this game, and they've proved what a wonderful side they are. Third test went down by 32 points to 8, but at half time it was there for the taking.
Yeah, I thought there was the application and dedication today was absolutely fantastic. We got 150% effort of everybody, and we were in the game up until the last 10 minutes. I thought I saw a reawakening today. There's a lot of hard work to be done. But if we ignore it once more, as we did in 78 and 79, then we've got no chance in 84 in Australia. But I saw the signs were there today. I think the players are there. What we want is an attitude, a lot of hard work at club level, because that's where we relate from. And I'm certain that we've turned the corner today. But we mustn't put our heads in the sand again and forget about it as soon as Australia have gone.
I thought Andy Gregory and David Topless, who you brought into the side for this final test, had particularly good games today.
Yeah, that's true. Both the half-backs played well, but there were some encouraging signs from young players like Mike O'Neill and particularly Lee Crooks as well, who has proved himself today to be a big match player. Yeah, I think the players are there. What we need is a lot of hard work, a lot of honesty from people, facing facts, changing our attitudes, thinking about the game, and working hard, working like hell for 84.
Cromax, 15 matches here in Great Britain, 15 wins, including 3 test victories. You must be absolutely over the moon.
Very excited, yes. It's something that I don't think anyone would ever think that's going to happen to them. It's a great tribute to all the players, to our coach and to our management, and it's a big thing for myself personally.
You've played, what, 7 test matches now?
I would know. No, more than that, 12 so.
And the last 7 have been winning matches as skipper.
Oh yeah, as skipper, sorry, yes, that's right, yeah, I'm undefeated at the moment, it's not a bad record.
And today's game, really, up until half-time, Great Britain were giving you a bit of a fight.
Yes, in 2 ways, yes, there was a bit of a fight involved. There was, I think they played very well. They really, it was like a real test match today. The unfortunate thing, I think, for the Great Britain side, they didn't know when to stop with their hard work. And that's when you've got to be able to use your head and know when to stop, and they didn't know when to stop, and that's what cost them quite dearly. I'm not saying it would have cost them winning, but it certainly didn't do their chances any good.
Of course, the highlight for you must have been today in the second half. There you played this year, or the 15th game being played on the tour, final match, test match, 3rd one, and you scampered through for a try. You must have been highly delighted at that.
Well, delighted, I think, has been an underestimation of the word, because I've been in a situation so many times on this tour when I was the next man to get the ball and I never got it. And I think I had all the players wanting me not to score, not to score, but not to score. And it was a bit of a standing joke. They didn't want me to score like on the last tour. And I did, and I'm very pleased with myself, and actually and the players too, but I'm very pleased with myself.
One of the things that has struck me is the rapport that the Australian touring side have got with the British public. It's something totally different and never really been seen before.
Well, that's very true, but I think that if you're an outstanding sports person or you're an outstanding team, and this is not one team of 13, it's one team of 33. The 28 players and the management of 5, being the coach and the 2 managers, doctor and trainer, they've all been a part of something that's been a wonderful experience for me, and I've been on a lot of football trips, but this is the greatest bunch of Australian sportsmen I've ever been with in my life.
What do you think has got to be done in British Rugby League to attain this sort of fitness and professionalism that the Australians have shown so that we can compete?
Well, Tom McNabb, who was my advisor on Chariots of Fire, he is an ex-Olympic coach, and we had him down at Fulham when we first started. And he was appalled at the archaic principles by which rugby league training was organised. The very exercises they do, the very training programmes are out of date. They belong to the 50s and 40s. They're all about stamina. They're nothing to do with speed and dexterity. And he believes that you need to get an expert in who has nothing to do with rugby league, who will look at the game and say, under present contemporary philosophy of physical education, these are the things you must do. And this is what must be done. Whether they'll do it, God only knows, because coaches are very jealous of their own expertise.
Arthur, you've just seen the final test in this series, Australia versus Great Britain, and you were here in 1960 as coach for Australia, and of course everybody in Great Britain knows you as Big A. How did you think today's game went?
I thought it was just normal, just to win. I mean, they could have put the second team in and killed them, you know. But I think this is one of the finest sides I've ever seen. I've watched every team since 1948, when I played for Leeds in 47. I've seen every Australian team since 1948 tour this country. had done a lot of work for the Australians as liaison officers, this, that and the other. But they were tremendous this side, and I don't think I've seen a finer side in my life.